It keeps happening, guys. It keeps happening exactly as we are predicting. Support acts as support. It triggers big bounces. Of course, nobody believes in support levels when we get down there, exactly as 𝗤𝗙𝗡 was warning you guys when we were all the way up here. I was telling you guys, look, if we come back down to the 25k level, it's going to get really scary and people are going to completely fade all of that support. They're going to be ignoring all of the support down here. And that's exactly what happened. And so support acted as support. And guess what? Resistance is acting as resistance as well. So let's break this down and talk about where this market could be headed with this price action right here. Let me just move this desk up a little bit. Bam, there we go. Just get this in a better position for me. And we've got this Ichimoku cloud offering a little bit of resistance to Bitcoin right now, which is definitely going to be problematic for Bitcoin, I think. And especially when you consider that we have rallied quite nicely from our low up to our high now, literally within just a day and a half, we're up by 8%. So that is, you know, a little bit of a bigger move for Bitcoin, generally speaking. I mean, if you look at the kind of price action we did here, this took 3 days and we only went up by 3.6%, right? And a lot of the other price action that we saw, you know, just wasn't, the market just hasn't been that volatile. So this is a big deal. And we are rapidly approaching these resistance levels. Now, this is happening against the backdrop of an incredibly bullish stock market right now. The S&P 500, exactly as I've been talking to you guys about on this YouTube channel, you know, has broken above this resistance. I told you guys if we break above this one, we're going to find resistance here. That's exactly what happened. You can see we rallied up very strongly and we paused exactly in my next yellow box. I haven't moved this stuff, guys. This analysis just has been this on point. And I also told you guys that if we break above this yellow box, we're probably going up to the green line. And that is what we're looking at right now by the looks of it. Yes, we can have some pullbacks. We can even pull back right now and come back down to this yellow box. But the point is very, very clear. In fact, I was actually giving you guys this analysis all the way back over here, telling you guys that, yeah, if we do get this pullback, and this pullback is something I was looking for, you can just go back on my, I'm not making the show up, just go back on the YouTube channel and look at it, because I know it sounds like really weird how we've been on point with everything, but these markets, they just move in pretty healthy ways, and that's why they're easy to analyze. And ultimately, this is a traditional finance market, so it moves in more traditional ways, and my background as a trader, my background as an analyst, even though I've only traded crypto basically for all of my life, my background, the way I learned, was from a more traditional background, and it just works better. You know, I say this as though there are options. In my view, there are no options. You just do it correctly or you do it incorrectly, and correctly means the traditional way because it keeps you safe, because it keeps you grounded and realistic, and that's exactly how this has been moving here. So you know, with a very, very bullish backdrop with the S&P 500, with the Nasdaq index, with the dollar dropping down, it's no surprise that Bitcoin is finally starting to get some play here and moving up a little bit. And this is all the more exciting because we can trade all of these markets. We can trade the S&P 500, we can trade Tesla, Apple, gold, oil, and all sorts, all without KYC, without taking a picture of ourselves or a picture of our ID, using the link to BingX in the description down below. You're also going to be getting bonuses of over $1,000 or up to around $1,000, which is really, really cool. And Bybit link down below will give you up to 30k. So just depending on what you deposit into your account, and when you start trading, you are going to get up to $30,000 of free money deposited into your account that you can trade with, and any profits that you generate with that cash are yours to keep. So insane offers with the description links down below. Definitely check them out if you haven't done so already. But if we talk about where this market's going now, resistance is resistance, right? And so if you're wearing a little bit more of a bearish hat, if you think that Bitcoin is leaning a little bit more bearish, then you're going to be looking at resistance here, potentially taking Bitcoin back down to the 25k area. There just isn't really any support between where we are now and the 25k area, in my opinion. You can see this really clearly if we just kind of zoom out a little bit and we take a look at the kind of price action we've had in this range, which is absolutely nothing. Take a look at this. We just, you know, didn't do anything here. Even when we crashed down, it was very quick and we came back up. When we crashed down the next time, it just, you know, we didn't do anything at this price level. This just wasn't significant. So, you know, if we do get rejected here, we're probably looking at a fairly sizable drop. What is this, like a 5% drop? Yeah, 5-6% drop down. Which, I mean, you know, it's neither here nor there. It's definitely not super small, but it's definitely not going to be a big drop either if we do end up pulling that off. So I wouldn't be too worried. What I would be concerned about is that this is the best area of support that Bitcoin had on the chart, and I couldn't stress that to you more. This was probably the single most consistent thing I was telling you guys about over the past 2 months, and it was pretty annoying to say it, but that's kind of how this channel goes, right? If you've been around here for a while, you're going to know that I kind of just have to repeat myself constantly because the market doesn't do a lot, you know, at times, but the analysis doesn't actually change. And so we knew that this was an incredibly strong area of support. Obviously, nobody else paid attention to these facts, but that's okay. That just makes it easier for people like me. And now we are seeing this kind of bounce really come into fruition here. So you guys know the deal. I'm wearing my bullish hat. I've been wearing my bullish hat since 21,500. Actually, I've been wearing my bullish hat since $17,000, but I entered this position at 21.5. Obviously, everyone's getting really excited at entering longs over here, and this was definitely the most obvious place to go long on Bitcoin that we've had in quite some time. Obviously, I didn't care about that because I'm still in my current long position, and I got an amazing entry compared to 25k. So I'm just doing, pretty fine where I am right now, and I am expecting this market to continue rising up in line with that. We've actually got a breakout of this kind of like falling wedge type pattern here. This is, fairly significant in my opinion. I mean, this is a, it's certainly not a small pattern. It spans across about, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, and that's okay. The fact that we're getting a pump out of it is very, very nice. We're also getting a little bit of a volume spike. Nothing crazy. I would have liked to see much more volume, to be honest, but at least we're getting something. And so for me, it's going to be about how do we interact with our resistance levels. We're actually at the single most important level right now. This is the most important level that we've got on these micro time frames. Obviously, on a macro time frame, it's 25k and 30k. But if we zoom in, we start talking about the micro time frames. 26.7. We've known, and I've said literally just in yesterday's video, that this is going to be an extremely important level for the market. So if we are able to overcome it, for me, I'm going to be looking at getting up into this green box. Now, this green box was quite problematic for Bitcoin. It starts at 27.4. This was quite a problem for Bitcoin for quite some time. We actually really couldn't get above it for about a month. We did get above briefly, but this was, your classic deviation for Bitcoin. And also it served to, as far as I'm concerned, basically just, give us this rejection up at resistance, and then continue the trend lower, and this obviously just keeps the parallel channels in line here. So this is something I'm going to be paying attention to, this parallel channel. Honestly, guys, one of the things that I think is really well worth noting at a time like this is that when we are looking at market conditions like this, when we are looking at market conditions where we've been in an incredibly strong rally off the 15k low, we've doubled the bottom. Basically, we bottomed out. Sorry, guys. We bottomed out at 15k, and then we rallied up to 30, and now we've had a significant pullback. It lasted 2 months. We fell down by 20%. This is by all means an important, significant pullback in my opinion. It's quite fair to expect significant bounces to come off them as well. So while everybody else is looking for short positions, and I see why they're doing that, it does make sense. For me, I am expecting these resistance levels to break. I just think, and I've said this, quite a lot, is, when you fall down to strong support levels, that's when it's generally, in my experience, that's when it's fair to expect big bounces, right? I'm not necessarily going to expect big bounces off 26.6, 26.7, because we all knew that that's not really a significant area on the chart, right? Like historically, we didn't really do anything with that price area, so it's just not that important. But 25, I've stressed this continuously with you guys. If you've been subscribed, you're going to know too much about this by now. It was a big problem for Bitcoin, throughout the second half of 2022 and the first quarter of 2023. That's a very, very long time, basically, all the way up to here. This is like 9 months, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 9 months that we've been stuck below the 25k area. So yeah, it's natural to expect a big bounce. That's what I was saying I'm expecting to see, and that's exactly what we've gotten so far, and that's why I'm expecting these resistance levels to continue to face some problems from Bitcoin here. So if we just kind of consolidate here, if we pull back a little bit, maybe we fall down to like these highs, we kind of capture some support off here, mount another attack. Maybe this fails, we capture some support a little bit higher, mount another attack. This fails, support a little bit higher, and the next thing you know, we've just formed an ascending triangle, right? That is a very, very common way for the market to break fairly important resistance levels like this one right here. Alternatively, maybe we just consolidate. Any of these things would be good. What I don't want to see is a revisit of the 25k range. If we revisit the $25,000 level, then that's going to tell me that this is not actually a significant bounce, and it tells me that we're probably going to have to lose the 25k level. We're probably going to drop below it. Now, I'm not too worried if we drop below it. I've spoke about this extensively with you as well on this YouTube channel. I'm seeing 2024 and so on. The support for me goes down to 19K. I've said that a lot. I know it sounds kind of extreme, but it's just Bitcoin, right? I mean, if that's not okay with you, then you shouldn't be here. Bitcoin is extreme, and if you can't stomach it, if you can't accept that kind of thing, then yeah, just really just get the fuck out. It's not for you, but that's why I'd be getting a little bit concerned about Bitcoin if it does kind of get back down to this level, because it just kind of tells me that this bounce didn't really do anything. And I, this is Bitcoin's shot. This is Bitcoin's window of opportunity. If Bitcoin fumbles the bag right here, then the ball is firmly back in the court of the bears, and it can definitely be taken quite low. So that again wouldn't necessarily be a problem. There's a lot more support down below, but we don't want to see that happen, right? I'm looking at these resistance levels right here. If we are able to get above them, 27.4 is going to be that next key area pardon me, for me on this chart. This whole green box is just resistance on this chart, so I think that it is going to be problematic for Bitcoin, this green box right here. I mean, it's a lot of consolidation that we've had at this between these price levels that stretch between 27.4 and 28.2. We've had a lot. There's definitely been some problems here, and so I'm not too sure if Bitcoin is going to have an easy time there, but what I do feel quite confident about is that if we do break this 26.7k area right now, I don't think that there is any resistance which is stronger than this. If you look at the interactions with this line right here, which are definitely quite plentiful, we can just measure, like, how long was this line relevant for? 50 days. Let's take a look at this one. How long was this line relevant for? It's actually still relevant right now. 90 days, right? So nearly double the time frame here that this line is more important. And when we've got lines that are just historically more significant, that have been relevant for longer in history for the price, those are the key levels to break. And so when you start breaking these key levels, these less important levels are generally going to be a lot easier. That's the same reason why I'm saying I wasn't surprised by this, and why I was expecting this big bounce off the 25k level, was because it's a strong area of support. So at strong areas of support, you're typically going to be expecting strong bounces, right? At least I am. And so if we clear this, 27.4 is next. After that, it's 28.6. This is going to be the next kind of key area of resistance for Bitcoin, but nothing really is going to be problematic in my opinion. And this is where things get really exciting, because we can just kind of rally up. If we lose this resistance level, I just don't think anything's really going to hold Bitcoin back. It's had such a nice pullback now. It's just so ready to get back up to these highs right here. Altcoins have been absolutely fucking destroyed as well. I mean, if we actually, where is Bitcoin's dominance? I haven't actually seen this in quite some time, but I'm very curious to see look at this, guys, 49.6%. I was actually telling you guys a lot about Bitcoin's dominance for quite some time on this YouTube channel, because we were just consolidating at the high, and I was warning you guys that, look, I mean, this has been a resistance level for Bitcoin for quite some time, but consolidating at the high is a very, very concerning sign. It can definitely indicate that we're about to break to the upside, and this is Bitcoin just sucking up all of the money in these altcoins, and just, I mean, look at them. I mean, Cardano, look at this. It's absolutely abysmal. It's at a low. Cardano is at a low. And granted, Bitcoin, didn't perform amazingly either. Bitcoin was sliding down, but it's at least bouncing up, right? I mean, Cardano's low is different. Cardano's low is bad. I mean, we haven't been at this level since February of 2021. It's not an ideal situation. I mean, this is the low that Cardano set basically right after the FTX crash. Bitcoin's equivalent price level is $17,000. And this is where Cardano is, and it's just it's not just Cardano. Obviously, some of these coins that have been hit a little bit harder because of whatever lawsuits. I don't know what's going on. It doesn't matter, but it's still across the board. We're seeing pretty crazy things as are right here. So I've been giving you guys my altcoin analysis on the daily channel. Check it out with the top link in the description if you haven't done so already. Posted a couple videos on there yesterday. I'm going to be doing some more on there later on today as well, so definitely make sure you are subscribed to that YouTube channel if you don't want to miss it. But yeah, like I said, I mean, I think we're doing well right now. I think we've just got to break these resistance levels, and that's it. I mean, we've done everything we need. We've had the nice correction. Traditional finance is strong. All of the same factors that I've been telling you guys exist for Bitcoin are still there. One of the big catchphrases of my YouTube channel over these last few months is nothing has changed. And you know what? It's because nothing has changed. We're still in a bullish rally. In this case, something has changed. We have very clearly bounced off a very strong support area. So I guess in that sense, we're a little bit stronger now than we were a few days ago, for sure. But broadly speaking, nothing has changed. And so to me, that is definitely very, very reassuring, quite exciting in this market right here. I do want to take a quick look at some of the key indicators that I like to watch. The daily EMA ribbon is right where we are right now. There's a lot of resistance that we're battling right now. There's the 4-hour Ichimoku cloud as well, if you take a look at that right here. But look at the daily Ichimoku cloud. We've got a really nice bounce here right off the bottom red line here. We did fall down below a little bit, but again, we just call these deviations or fake outs, right? And then everything makes sense again. And if we do get above the green Ichimoku cloud right here, if we clear $28,000, then that's it. I mean, we've confirmed this Ichimoku cloud for a second time. Actually, the last time that we bounced off this level was very similar. We did form a small deviation below, and it just worked out absolutely beautifully. So I'm loving what I'm seeing here. I mean, short term, there's definitely some problems. There's the Ichimoku resistance, even on the daily EMA ribbon, which is still, more of a short-term time frame for the EMA ribbons. We do have resistance right here, but again, all it takes is a couple $100 higher than where we are right now, and it is all gone. We've actually already done it, by the way. If you look at the OHLC, specifically the high right here, you can see that the high of today's candle is 26.8. So we already got above 26.7. Obviously, it was a fake out, but if we're able to get above it and stay above it, for a day or so, then yeah, I mean, there's just the market is giving me reasons to be even more bullish, and I was already quite bullish. I put a lot of money behind that idea as well. And it's still showing me all of the right signs that I'm liking seeing. So I'm going to be keeping you guys updated with this as the situation develops. Obviously, I'm going to be trading it as well. This trade that you've seen was made on Bybit, and it's always been the best exchange in the space as far as I'm concerned. So check it out with the link in the description down below if you are interested. There is so much. They've actually just released like a ChatGPT style tool, which they just shared with me yesterday. So I'm going to be taking a look at that very soon. I'm super excited for it. There is a lot on Bybit that is worth checking out. But of course, if you don't want to do that and you want to check out an exchange like BingX, they don't require KYC, then this is going to be a great option. And of course, just the fact that we can also trade these traditional finance markets on BingX is much more exciting than anything else, in my opinion. I mean, it's the fact that we can, Tesla, Apple, Amazon, you've got Forex, indices. It's quite spectacular, all of the options that you have to trade here. And only with a Bitcoin deposit, so just ultimate flexibility, well worth checking out. Prime XBT is similar. You can also trade the indices and Forex and gold and stuff like that. And OKX is actually giving you up to $60,000. This is outdated. They're actually giving you up to $60,000 in bonuses. So definitely do check that out if you are interested. These are all of the updated bits of information right here. But there you go, guys. If you have enjoyed this one, you know exactly what to do. Hit up the like, subscribe, take the bell, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you all in the very next video. Cheers.